So here's a picture of Sparkle Bubbles. And if you notice here in Twilight, there's really only 3 colors. There's that one, and that one, with only a slight gradient here at the top that just kind of blends in a little bit. And I'll show you that in a second. So first off, you want to start with the base color of your eye, which for Sparkle Bubbles is this really light purple color. Oops, that's water. Hold on. There we go. Oops, that's not good. So you're going to want to take it easy, do it a couple times if you have to, but just make the shape of her eye. I keep making it too small. You want it to take up most of her eye space because their irises are really big. So this one's a lot better. And I got to do a little bit of erasing right here. Okay. So once you have the eye, you're going to lock it. So on Photoshop, you'll lock the layer. On Psi, you're going to preserve opacity. So once you do that, you're going to want to mark out where the pupil goes. And you're going to want to do this first just because it makes it easier to figure out where everything else needs to go. Okay. So now she's got her little pupil. And so now we're going to start with the other 2 colors. The lighter one, that's lighter than the main color and lighter than this color, goes first. And then on top of that is just a separate color. It varies. You can choose different ones. So here, we're going to just make a line from there. And here's the one that goes on top. And now we're going to do just a little bit of gradient. Now for my character, that color is the same as the gradient. I'm just using a water color right here. Okay, so now we're going to go up, back, and we're going to fix the pupil that we just messed up. Let me redo that. There we go. And now we're going to do their shines, which, if you'll notice on Twilight Sparkle, is pretty big. The first shine is just going to come kind of outside, but be mostly here in the pupil. There we go. And then just a little one right here, further inside. Okay, so now if you were to look at this picture and then look at this one, the first thing you'd notice is that this one doesn't have colored lines. The reason I don't draw with colored lines is because it gets a little confusing, and it's very time-consuming. It's very time-consuming. So what I do is I always draw in black, and then afterwards I go back and I color in the lines. And for me, it's just easier. But it's all up to preference. I didn't draw Sparkle Bubbles with her wings. I'm sure you noticed that. Just because I am leaving wings out of these tutorials until it gets its own, because they kind of get in the way and don't let you see exactly what you want to see. But anyway, so you're going to want to choose a color that's just slightly darker than the body color. So here's her body color, and I'm just going to make it just a smidgen darker. So you're going to go to your line art layer, and you're going to preserve the opacity, or lock it, however you want to say that. And then you're just going to zoom in wherever you want and just start coloring it in. And one thing I've noticed from watching My Little Pony is that the colors that go on the lines, there's not very many of them. Even if the pony has lots of colors, like if you look at Rainbow Dash's mane, which has a lot of different colors, the line art for the mane is still only just one color. So like here, I'm not going to change this dark brown to maybe a dark gray just because it went to white. I'm going to keep it this brown color. Okay, so if you look here on Twilight Sparkle, she's got these purple and pink highlights, and then the dark line around her hair is actually just a darker version of the color of her, the main color of her hair. Haha, main, no pun intended. Haha. Anyway, and that's okay. That's what you're going for. So the main color of Sparklebubbles' mane is this yellowy color, so we're just going to do a darker version of that. And now here's where I have to color in a little bit more carefully, where this color meets this color. Make it a smooth line by just carefully going in there and coloring it in. And the more you do it, the more practice you'll get at it, and the better you'll be at it, so don't be discouraged at first. If your pony has really long eyelashes, you might want to do just her entire eye on a separate layer. That way you don't end up coloring her eyelash like I just did. Here's Twilight Sparkle. And here's the pony that we just drew. Now, things to notice about my pony and this pony is my pony is slightly chunkier, a little bit fatter than Twilight Sparkle is. And also, my pony's nose is a little bit bigger. That's okay, because if you watch the My Little Pony show, like for instance, Mrs. Cake or Snips, I think it is, one of the Snip and Snail, one of them, the shorter, fatter one, they've got larger noses too and larger chins. You just gotta mess around with it, see which one you like. Twilight and the main six, they all have pretty tiny noses and little tiny mouths, but I prefer the bigger nose and the fatter face, which is also used in the show. Again, that's just some kind of preference to you, depending on what kind you want to do. But for the most part, I mean, you look at this, and it looks pretty good. So I hope this helped, and hope it helped you do exactly what you wanted. AAA out.